Good. Exercise 1.5. What the question asks here in exercise 1.5 is extrude each of the sketches previously drawn using the extrude function. Extrude each by 100 millimeters. Save each of the exercises as number 4, 5, 6, 7 respectively. So in the previous video, what we did is we drew these 4 sketches, just the 4 sketches. What we want to do now is we want to change these sketches into 3D. Alright, and what I'm going to do just for revision's sake is I'm going to draw this one just from scratch again. Alright, so we know that the sketch at the bottom was 104 by 170. So let's draw that again. I don't need to save this. Okay, file, new part. Okay, it was on the top plane, sketch, and I drew the rectangle starting on the origin like this and giving it a dimension between this line and that line, 104, and between this line and this line, 170. Alright, there's my square. Now I want to, it is fully defined. We have to check that it's fully defined and all my lines are black. Now we want to make this into a 3D object. So under features, we go to extrude bar space over there, and we can now change this from a 2-dimensional object into a 3D object. Now there's one of 2 ways we can do this. You can either click on this handle over here, the grab handle, and make it 100. You can see the little yellow the little green number over there gets us to 100. Alright, and this also allows us to change the direction up or down by just clicking and dragging on that handle. The other option is for us to use the property manager on the left hand side. So we know this must be 100, so we simply type 100 in there and press enter, and over here you can change the direction if you need to. In this case I'm happy with it going up. Alright, there we go. Now we click the tick. Okay, and there we have our block. For exercise 1, so now you're going to do the same. You're not going to redraw each of these sketches unless you didn't save them. If you didn't save them, you'll have to just redraw the sketches and extrude them. Save each of these individually. Okay, save them. You're going to need them a bit later. And by the way, this blue thing over there is the origin in each case. Okay, if you want to check where your origin is, okay, we can just click on origin and you can see there it is in the corner. It lights up blue. Alright, nevertheless, let's go on with the next exercise. The next exercise says open number 1 extrude from your flash drive and draw a sketch on the top surface. This sketch will be a circle in the middle of the surface. Once you have done this, use the extrude cut function to cut the circle through all. Alright, ladies and gents, what we're going to do here is we're going to draw that circle. Alright, now in the past we selected a plane to draw on. So we said we want to draw on the top plane and we set up our sketch according to that. But now we have a problem because we can't, there is no plane where we need to draw. The right plane is over there, top plane is at the bottom, and the front plane is ironically, oh, it is at the front. Fantastic. Okay, we want to draw on there. So what we do is we select the surface that we want to draw on and then we click on sketch. Okay, so we select the surface. Now we can't draw, well, we can draw at an angle, but it's going to be difficult to place things in the middle. So we want to view that surface directly from the top. So what we do here is we click on the normal to, which is that button found over there in your views. Click on normal to. You can also press spacebar and click normal to over there. Either way, it's the same thing. Either that one or we press space. Now we're going to draw a circle like this. The dimensions are 70 and 52 and 85. So make this 70, click on the radius of the circle, 70 from this edge to this point is 52, and from this edge to that point is 85. Good. Now my circle is fully defined. We can now cut it. So I'm going to put this into isometric mode so you can see what's going on. And we go features, extrude cut, and we select this to through all. Now it's very important that you consider what So basically, let me first explain the difference. The difference is, if we say blind, we can specify a depth that this hole is going to cut into this block. But in this case, we actually want it to go through all. So we're going to go through all so that it always goes through all. And what this refers to here is a thing called design intent. We need to, when you're busy designing something, we need to think about the design intent. Do we always want this circle to go all the way through, no matter what happens to this block? Because let me show you what happens here. If I go blind, okay, and I make this 100, which means it does go all the way through. I apply this, okay, and we can see this block, this hole goes all the way through, right? And by the way, you can rotate your object on your screen by clicking and holding the middle mouse button. And so you press and hold the mouse button and drag your mouse, and that will change your view. Okay, now say we decided that the height of this block wasn't enough. We needed to edit it. Okay, so we go edit this, we make it 150. Now what you will find is this hole no longer goes all the way through. If we do a section view, you can see that. Okay, this circle does not go all the way through anymore. It only goes down to here. Because we didn't select the through all option. Through all means that no matter what the size of this block is, this hole will always go through all. So it's not a problem. We can just come back here and we can change it. So we right click on the cut extrude, edit feature, and change this to through all and apply. And now we have all that goes through all, no matter what the size of the block. For the next problem, you're going to have to round off the corners of this block. Okay, let's have a look over here. So please save that on your flash drives. For this, we want to round off all these corners, right? And in the past, we used this function, this sketch fillet function. But now we're not doing a sketch fillet because we're not working in sketch mode anymore. We're busy working on a 3D object. So now what we use instead is the fillet tool. So under features, there it is, fillet. Over here, there's 4 different types of fillets you can do. We're going to get to them later. For now, we're just going to use the constant radius fillet. Over here, we want it to be 10 millimeters. Okay, in that example, it's actually 25, I think. Let's just check. Okay, 20 millimeter fillet, but I'm just going to use 10. Oh, why not? Let's use 20. Okay, so I changed this to 20. In this blue, then we click in this blue box and we select the edges that we want to fillet. So we want to fillet this edge and this edge and this edge, okay? And it's actually quite laborious selecting all these lines. So what we can do is we select the first edge, and you'll notice this little window pops up with different options. And by just dragging the mouse over this, the computer can automatically select the edges. So we want to fillet everything except the circle edge at the top. So we come here and we check which option is the one we need. Not that one, because we're not going to fillet the circle, and we only want to do the edges. So we click on that one. Okay, the internal to feature. Right, if you want to see a preview, you can click on full preview. That will show you the preview in yellow. Otherwise, no preview, partial preview kind of does the same thing. Okay, and we click the tick to apply. There we go. Okay, all our corners are rounded. So, let's look at the next exercise. Alright, the next exercise is for us to draw this sketch. And let's quickly rotate this drawing so we can see it nicely. Alright, we need to recreate the sketch. Now for this one, the position of the origin does not matter. Okay, doesn't matter too much. The most important thing is here that we split this up into steps, okay, into pieces. So we're going to start by drawing this bottom piece over here and then adding the top piece on. Why? I'm going to show you now. So we're going to start a new part. Alright, and again, we're going to start on the top plane and say sketch. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to start on the top view. So this is the top view, elevation over here, and we're going to draw this profile on the top view. Now, I'm going to start with my origin in the corner, and I'm going to start by drawing a square. Okay, and 75 by 50. Okay, and now I'm going to draw the rest of the features. So I'm going to draw these two squares, and I'm not going to fully define this now just because I want to illustrate the point, but yours will have to be fully defined. Alright, so say now I'm done with this whole sketch. I've drawn this whole thing. I didn't put the fillets in because just to save a bit of time for now. I'm done. This is all fully defined, and I now want to extrude this. You'll notice that by default, this does not extrude. And the reason is because we've got 5 different profiles that we could choose from. We could choose that as a profile, this as a profile, this, or this. Okay? And the thing is with SolidWorks is you can't, with a normal boss extrude function, you can't extrude things different heights. So if these objects are different heights, like they are in here, we cannot extrude them all at the same time. So we need to split this problem up. We want to extrude this base first, because this is all the same height, and then add that on top afterwards. So we split this up into problems, at least into steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the long way around, select all of, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to round off one of these corners. I just want to show you can do either way. You can either use the sketch fillet tool over here, or you can use the fillet tool afterwards. And the radius of these is 12, so I set it to be 12, and I select one corner. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do the other corner with the fillet tool, but you can choose either one. So either do both with the sketch fillet tool, or do both with the other fillet tool. So we click OK. I've got the corner. Now I'm going to extrude this. Features, extrude. Okay, and it needs to be extruded by 10 millimeters. There it is, 10, and we click the tick. Now just to show you, I can fillet this corner, make this 12, and I can fillet this corner. Alright, let's just check. It is on, oh, there we go. Let me select that. Oh, seems like we're lagging a little bit there. Seems like we're having a bit of a hang here. Okay, there it is. So what I wanted to show you is fillet. We can select the edge we want to round off, and we're happy with that, and we click the tick. And there is the same effect on both sides. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw those two squares on the surface. Select the surface, click on sketch, and normal 2. Draw our two squares, 1, 2, and we fully define them by inserting the dimensions. They are 20 by 9 millimeters. So 20 by 9, 20 by 9, and make that 8. This edge 8. Okay, from there to there is also 8, and from here to here is also 8. Right? Now we're going to cut extrude this. Right? The same feature that we used before. So features, extrude cut. Okay, I'm just going to put in isometric so we can see nicely, and this is through all. So you always want this to go through the whole thing. Click the tick. And there we are. Now we want to draw those two circles on top here. So we click on the surface, we say sketch, normal 2, and you can either draw the single circle, extrude it, and then cut the circle from the inside through, or you can draw a donut like what I'm going to do here, and we'll extrude that. So this, the dimensions for the circle over here are 38 by 20. So we're going to, outside one is 38, the inside one is 20. Let's check here on the study guide. Okay, and from the edge it's 23, from that edge to there, and this is obviously in the middle of this block, okay, which is 25 from that edge. So from this edge, switch it off there, from this edge to there is 23, and from this edge to there is, to the center of the circle is 25. Right, fully defined, isometric, and we can extrude this. Features, extrude, the height of that is 20 millimeters, and we click the tick. There is the last exercise in Module 1. After this comes Module 1 worksheet, and for Module 1 worksheet there are answers that we need to have, that we have in the study guide for each of those problems. Now, if you have a look on page 38, okay, we start with Module 1 worksheet. Now, this is now on its side so that we can just see this properly. Now, I'm going to draw this for you quickly because I want to show you how to check your answer according to the answers at the back. So on page 98, let me just see if I can skip there. Okay, are the answers. So, oh, right. Okay, anyway, on page 98 are the answers. Now, I'm going to draw this quickly. So, with this one, you can select from which view you'd like, from which view you want to start. I'm going to start on the top view. Okay, so looking down at this from the top. And I'm going to start by drawing this profile. Please, you have to split this up into problems, into sections, into different steps, if you like. Because you can't draw all of this in one go. So, we're going to start on the top view. Please make sure you've saved this one as well. So I'm going to start off by drawing that L. Well, I just find it in my study guide over here, so that we don't have to keep selecting different windows. Alright, I'm going to start by drawing, let's open this anyway, this top L over there. Because I've seen the origin is over here, okay, and it's in line with this, by the way. So, let's get cracking. Top plane, sketch. Okay, and we're going to start by drawing that L. Okay, I'm just using the line tool. You can use whatever tool you want, doesn't matter to me, as long as you get to the answer. Okay, now we insert dimensions to make it work. So this is 90, this is 40, this is 25, okay, and this thickness over there is 20. That's all we need to fully define our sketch. Now we extrude it, okay, and please, I'm looking where my origin is here, and I'm happy with it in that corner. So now I'm going to extrude this by 60 millimeters. There it is, 60. Okay. Now I'm going to add that square on the side. So I click on that surface, I click sketch, and again I go normal 2. Draw a square on the surface. Okay, I know the height of that square is 20, so from there to there is 20. I don't need another dimension because these lines have already linked to these edges. So I'm just going to rotate this a little bit. Features, extrude. Okay, and we're going to make this 25. Right? Now, let me quickly check if my origin is still in the right place, because remember, the origin has to be in the middle of that bottom section. So now I come here, I click on origin, and I check. Haha, there it is, in the middle. You can see it glowing blue there. Lastly, I need to insert a block on this face. So I click on this face, I say sketch, normal 2, and I start the block in the corner like this, and I give it its dimensions, which is 30 by 30. Alright, now features, extrude, and this time this has to be extruded by 25. Ready is on 25. And there we have it. Okay, there is drawing module 1, drawing number 1. Now, the one thing we need to know is we need to know if this drawing is correct. Okay, because of how I'm going to ask it in the test. If you were done now, if you were designing this block, you would be done. Where the origin lies is not relevant, well, not always, it is relevant. But for this subject, it's very relevant that you put the origin where my origin is. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to check the answer, which is on page 98. Except it's now lying on its side. So, we'll have to rotate this back to the top. Right, module 1 worksheet answers. Drawing 1.1. Cast carbon steel, mass, volume, surface area, center of mass. This is the material that I want you to use to make this part out of. So if I go back to SolidWorks over here, in your feature tree, you'll see material not specified. If I right click on this and I say edit material, it will open up this window, and there's a lot of different sections here. Okay, each one of these is a folder. You can open and close it by pressing the plus or the minus next to it. Alright, so I said, what did I say? Cast carbon steel. So we're going to go to steel and go to cast carbon steel. There it is. We click apply. You'll notice that this has changed to cast carbon steel and close. You'll also notice that the color of your sketch might change a little bit. You'll see mine has changed. It's got these lovely dimples on it. Now we want to check if this is according to my answer. So we go over here under the Evaluate tab, we click on Evaluate, we click on Mass Properties, and we check, do these values correspond with my values over here? Let's have a look. Mass 1407,90, 1407,90. Volume is the same. Surface area is the same. X, same. Y, same. And Z is the same. That means that this drawing is perfect. You have to be within 5% tolerance of the mass and volume, and within 5 millimeters of the center of mass. If you are not within that tolerance, it doesn't get marked as correct. So that is all you need to do module 1's worksheet, and so that you can check if your answers are correct.